Good morning, YouTubers. This is Edward here at a foreigner escapes the Philippines. And another beautiful morning. This is putting the generator back together day. Got the parts now and just waiting on my diesel mechanic to get here. And I could do it probably myself, but I already made a deal with him 3-4 months ago for a price for tearing it apart and putting it back together. I like to give the locals a job, and you know, I'm trying to back off of doing more projects than I can handle. I'm already, you know, pretty busy every day. I could probably knock this out too in probably a couple hours, maybe 3-4 hours if I just take my time. But I like giving the locals a good. Han, what, Han? The butt is at the age he wants to get into everything.
I know.
So
No.
the mechanic should be here by 8, huh?
I'm sure. You want me to call
It's pretty close to 8 now. No, you don't have to call him. It's okay. Just the later he gets here, the hotter humidity is gonna have to work in. I got a fan here, so we can put that on us. It's not too bad. Buddy, say hi. Say hi.
That's cute.
So here's the radiator I pulled from the generator 3 months ago. And it's been flushed, and I just reflushed it again. And it was tested for leaks and clean. It was all, this whole, not this side, but this side, the side that faces the fan. See how dinged up it is. It doesn't leak, but it's, you know, it's from all the crap hitting the fan, and then there was a bunch of oil. There was a oil leak one time. You know how diesel generators are. You can't hardly keep them clean. And this was just caked with oil, engine oil. So it wasn't doing a good job cooling anyway. But now it should be real good for another 2-3 years, hopefully. So yeah, that's your radiator. We'll install that. And here's the new pump. The new water pump here. This is just a shipping plate, and there's a gasket here. I bought a spare gasket. It comes with the pulley already on the shaft and with the bearing and everything. It's fairly small. All the parts together, the pump, a gasket kit, a belt, and a fan was 17,000 pesos, which is what, $270, something like that, $270, and that's waiting 3 months to get it back from China, because they never stocked all that stuff, but they should. That kind of basic parts that fail all the time, the vendor should be stocking that stuff. But yeah, good luck of what should be done. I've learned that in the Philippines, if you get a hold of what you really need and what you think should be from what you're used to in your first world country, good luck, because that's not going to happen. Very rare. So anyways, I'm just preparing the work area, and got tools out here. He'll bring his own tools also. But this is a 23 kW diesel generator. The engine's made by Yongdong company from China. So I paid 200, I think it was 265 or 285,000 for this 6 years ago? 5 years ago, 2018. So yeah, And you know, 200 and what, 280,000. That's every 100,000 is 1,000. So that'd be $2,800 right around there for that generator there. It's pretty good size. I mean, it's broke down twice. First, it was bad fuel, my fault. I was storing too much fuel, and during the rainy season, the fuel started going bad because I had too much of it stocked up because it was a COVID time. And during COVID, you didn't really know what was going to happen, right? So I was stocking up on extra fuel. Fuel went bad, and then it damaged the fuel pump. So that's my fault. And that was, I think that was about, what was it, 30 or 40,000 to get the pesos to get a new fuel pump. And so that was down for almost a year before I because during COVID and stuff, all the shipping had shut down and everything. So I was down for almost a year on that. And then this time with the water pump, it was 3 months plus, probably 3.5 months. So anyways, I'm just kind of letting you see what we got going here today. And I was going to show you this fuel tank. I'll show you the fuel tank that came with the generator. It's a onboard fuel tank right here. So it's inside this metal deal here. This it's like a big C-clamp made into a box, into a fuel tank, right? Here's your gauge right there, and terrible fuel tank because that becomes contaminated, and then how are you going to clean that out? How are you going to get your fuel out of there? You know, it don't work too good. So I made this stand, and that stand holds this tank here made out of water bottles. So I just put epoxy on 3 water bottles and fashioned them all together with a valve on the end. And then I'll put an inline filter right here, so it's filtered. And then, you know, that's the fuel. I fill it from the top, and it's nice because you can see what your fuel level is all the time. So I really like it. It's just, you know, one of your old MacGyver type things where you're in need of something and you just got to use what's available. It's not perfect, but it doesn't leak yet. And I've used it for a couple years. So I really like it because I can see the level all the time. And then, because it's hard to trust that gauge there anyways, and that fuel tank there, I couldn't use it anymore because it was contaminated fuel and who knows what kind of crap was in it. So I like this one. I can pull it, clean it anytime I want. I have a additional fuel filter that I bought. Where are those fuel filters? I got that, oh yeah, right over here. I bought these fuel filters. See, it's just your basic inline fuel filter. It's clear so you can see it when it starts to plug up and get crap in it. And that just goes, you know, it's just very simple, basic inline fuel filter hooked to my fuel hoses. This is the return line that goes back into the tank, and then this is your suction line right here. So it's just rubber hose. So it works. I mean, when you're out in the boonies, out in the jungle, you do what you can to make it right when something's not available, because like I say, even getting parts is months and months and months most of the time. So that's why I really want propane generator. Man, I wish I had a propane generator. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm always looking. If I'd appreciate it if you guys, any of you guys in the Philippines, can source from any vendor that can get me to my door propane generator. I will use my savings to try to get one of those buggers, like an 8 kW. That's be a perfect size 8 kW for a propane generator. That's really what I want. But I also got a quote in for some battery backup for my solar system, so I can either switch to, once let's say the grid goes down, right? If the grid goes down, my solar system goes down too, right? I got 3 inverters here, but it's a grid tie system. So if the grid goes black, you have a blackout, everybody loses power. Then I come over here. Here's the Zeneco is on. This is your shore power, and this is generator, right? You just flip this breaker down, flip this over, and then you go up with the gen set. Here's your gen set. Here's Zeneco. That's the shore power, right? So I would have just an additional breaker over here for battery solar. So off-grid solar battery bank that when power goes out, all I do is flip your shore power off and flip this over, and then flip on the battery backup solar. So during the day, as long as your sun's hitting your batteries, you don't need much of a big bank as long as it's constantly being maximum charged, your batteries. So keep your load low too. I'd keep my load low. I wouldn't run the pool pumps and extra stuff. Just one air con and the refrigerators, and then once in a while the water pump for all your faucets, drops, and your toilets. That comes on every once in a while to keep that system pressurized. That's all I would have for a power load, so I wouldn't need much for batteries. I mean, I'd like to have a battery bank that even if the sun wasn't hitting them, that the batteries could last at least 3 hours on my minimal usage. That would be perfect. And even if it was only 2 hours, that'd be fine, because majority of the blackouts we have are all under 2 hours. And then when we have the long 8 to 10 hour, grid blackouts for maintenance, the power company doing major maintenance on the system, then I can run the generator then if we need to have power during that time. Some of the time I don't mind having a blackout. You can't use water, but we have water storage, for washing dishes and all that. We have water buckets and stuff around certain areas, and for minor blackouts we do that. So everybody, you got to get used to the system that you got to work with. So, but yeah, beautiful day. I'm just waiting on the mechanic. I think it might be after 8 a.m. now. Let's take a look at what the temperature is. So let's see here. 8:15, 82, almost 83 degrees on May 24th. So that's my brother's birthday, my brother Tim. Shout out to him, happy birthday. He's 2 years younger than I am. So he's just flew back to the States here a couple weeks ago. So he's back there, he's enjoying quiet and no neighbors burning ash in his face, and a little bit cooler weather in the mornings and stuff. But the thing is it's biting bugs, mosquitoes and biting flies. It's terrible. You can't enjoy outside at all hardly, especially maybe early morning, they're still hiding, but once it starts to heat up at all in the morning, those mosquitoes and flies are out, and good luck if you're even outside. You're gonna get bit to death. So there's drawbacks wherever you are in the world. I don't care what it is. You just have to make the best of where you've decided to lay down your roots. So that's it for this video, guys. I'm just kind of showing you a pre-job, trying to get this generator back together, and then I'll do one once the mechanic's here, and we'll try to start it up if all goes well. So take care, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.